I would like you to think of your favourite scarf, or the last time you stroked a cat or dog. How about the last time you held the hand of a loved one? Chances are, part of that memory involves remembering what the touch felt like. It's impossible for us to think about animal fur, for example, without linking to the stored memory of what it actually feels like to touch it. As a child, touching rough, smooth, and a variety of different textures to discover what they feel like is essential to developing an understanding of our world. Since the introduction of digital technology into our everyday lives, however, the computer mouse, keyboards, trackpads, and touchscreens are fast becoming the main textures we spend our day touching. The digital revolution gives preference to our eyes and ears over the remaining senses, and as a result, touch, or the tactile senses, are being neglected. Imagine a child born into a digital world where they no longer get to touch the real thing. What happens to us when there is no longer a stored memory of textures? I first noticed a fascination with low-relief textures about 3 years ago. I made an exhibition artwork, which was white vinyl stuck to white board. And for some reason, people kept asking me if it was okay to touch it. This prompted me to conduct further research and produce pieces of graphic communication that were tactile rather than purely visual, and use touch as a way to engage audiences with the message. The audience response to my work so far has been fantastic, with many thousands of my tactile typography images being shared on websites such as Pinterest and Tumblr since I coined the term in 2011. By using everyday materials such as string and nails, ribbons, beads and buttons to create artworks that communicate using textures and text, I've discovered that the audience is much more likely to respond positively to the words when they recognise familiar materials. Tactile typography is important to the field of graphic design because it cuts through the visual clutter in a world oversaturated with digital images. By including touch in the communication equation, I'm ensuring that my words are much more likely to be read by the receiver. So the next time you encounter something with an interesting looking texture, I encourage you to actually touch it. In an age where we spend our days staring at computer screens, we need to remind ourselves every now and then what the real thing actually feels like. Thank you.